Roger.
So can let's have a recap from Zartlam, please.
So, last time we set out to deal with the sword that was cutting off the water flow we'd heard about a while back. And we... I forget if anything happened on the way there, but eventually we reached there and tried our hands at removing the sword, though it was only once we, with the combined might of a few people, that we were able to get anything to happen. Eventually we were able to pull the sword out, but in exchange we got ourselves a electric demon thing, majig, which proved to be quite challenging to fight due to the fact that Zartlan was the only one who had a weapon that could that could fully affect it. Then I think it was Cavell had the idea that electricity and water don't mix, and Zartlam basically dragged the thing towards the well. At which point, our new friend, the monk, literally jumped in to help. Between the two of us, we were able to drive it down into the water, dissipate it, and but at that point, the sword itself floated back out and eventually escaped our grasps at the top of the well. With that dealt with, we realized that it was only a matter of time until the Royal Knights showed up, so we were going to get out of town for a bit. And just as we were leaving, somebody, lo and behold, one of them showed up.
Okay. And with that, you was hushed to the back of the tavern that you was in, and that you each jumped on the three horses, so some of you were sharing, and as you flee to escape, you heard the sounds of crying and screaming of horror and begging from the townsfolk, predominantly the mayor. As you flee, hoping to escape the Holy Knights, you take the horses and you follow the leading road. The leading road to the Forest of White Dreams. You have a few hours journey on the road. This time you can discuss anything you wish to discuss along your way.
One clarification: we learned that the sword belonged to Gil Thunder. Probably important.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Am I right in thinking that the knight outed us as the king killers?
The knight didn't, but you did hear the mayor say that they were not harbouring those responsible for the king's death. So it may be a case of there was an assumption on that behalf that may be who was in the town.
But technically, the townsfolk didn't,
Townsfolk wouldn't have known for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as where's me? As far as Fizzle knows regarding the magics that were binding the sword to the stone, the certain types would have been remnants or only being able to be removed of someone or a series of people in unity, and possibly have some sort of ties to the Holy Knight Order.
But I have so far withheld this information.
Indeed, you have. So, as you travel, Let me get the map up for you so you kind of know your current location and where you're heading.
Open the map.
We're totally not fighting anything.
Oh no, it's usually we open this map to know where we're heading.
Yeah.
Okay.
So currently the arrow is along the road that you're taking to the Forest of White Dreams, and you kind of have there's like a cliff edge ridge that's quite high up on one side, so you can see a few hundred feet up that there is like a tree line that you kind of follow, and that you can see that there's seems to be a vague sort of low mist on that tree line as you follow the road through to find a break in the forest if that's where you so choose to pass through.
Or something that we would take the horses with us would be occasional. Mind you, I do suspect that the horses may not make it through the whole shebang. But then
What do you
again,
mean? We've already named them.
I'm just saying that the place we're going is quite dangerous. Be mentally prepared that they will die horribly. And quite possible we would get into a whole bunch of trouble ourselves. So just try to be vigilant, is what I'm saying.
Zartlam, you're quite uncomfortable at this stage being on this horse, not because you don't feel confident in your abilities to mount and ride a horse. You currently have on the back of your horse a very drunk and a very still drunk, should I say, hungover Orion, asleep, resting and drooling on the back of your armor. Fizzle, you have a hungover, almost comatose, but still sort of stirring in his sleep, Ronan.
I see.
So, the forest is said to be wary and haunting. A thick moss enshrouds the area of the forest, and tall, dull, pine-like trees sway in the breeze. The dirt road forks off. One way leads into what appears to be an opening in the forest. The other continues alongside. Around you are surrounding fields and higher rised, like rocky edges that kind of almost pigeonhole you into this road area. To go around, it would take much effort to climb, or possibly even days travel around this area. So the only two destinations you can kind of have is either to enter the forest at this stage or continue alongside the forest line.
Do we know if there are additional roads leading through the forest?
There are no roads, probably.
Go ahead, first of all, and roll me a perception check, each of you. And then for you, Sokoval, you can roll a history check for me.
Yeah, I probably took this road on the way down.
Holy cow, that's a good roll for me.
Probably perfect location for an ambush is what I was about to say. Because, you know.
What? Ambush?
Perception, you say. Let's see. What did I get? 7. Amazing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fine. So, Sokoval and Zartlam, giving your experience of the areas and how a lot of the Crown's Guard maneuver their way, you come across this this split in the road, and you can see probably 200-300 feet down the way that there seems to be almost like a blockade of soldiers
Like outside the forest.
outside the forest, further down the road, where the road splits and it goes into the forest line, and it goes off into the direction alongside the forest line. There is a blockade, and if you just hold on for me, I will, if it loads, I will place you on that part.
They're on the crossroads, or they're a little bit further back, so we could
But
like.
we're gonna see.
So it's more a split in the roads than a crossroad, but you can see.
Oh right, I see now. Yeah.
Basically, our option is to go to the towards the blockade or go into the.
Well, we would like to. Well, the whole what we discussed yesterday evening was that we would try to avoid these whatchamacallits, patrols,
Exactly.
because they would simply catch us.
Exactly. It doesn't change our plans at all.
Yep.
We're
I
going
mean, we could signal that we're here and then run into the forest with our horses.
let's try and not be seen. There's no point in giving away our
If
position.
they decide to chase us through the forest, then they would be making the most noise.
They would not chase us through the forest. That's 100% certain. But you know, best avoid detection regardless. It's just stroll on in, I'd say.
So if the map has loaded for you, you should be able to see how it works out for you. Okay.
Well, all right then.
So, yeah, you can see that there, as you kind of make your way into the tree line, you can see that there are around about in your peripheral view there are about 40 guards at this checking point. And there's actually a traveling merchant right at the very front of this line, and you can kind of vaguely hear with a very stern voice, even the distance, you can hear on like a higher turret, what do you have in the cart, old man? And
Do I
you see
recognise
him,
the merchant?
you don't recognize him, no. Back's turned to where you are, so you wouldn't see his facial features, but he more looks like a farmer merchant. He seems to be delivering hay or something along them lines.
I'd say we should hurry and take cover in the forest.
Yeah, sure. You can continue hearing the guard sort of moves closer and looks at the cart and goes, "Oh God, what's that smell?" And you kind of hear a vague discussion as you maneuver into the tree line. Just give me a second.
All right.
Quickly.
There was a funny line I heard on one of the D&D shows I watched recently. The DM was just like, "All right, hold on 1 second while I find the stuff for this." And one of the players was immediately like, "Quick, let's hurry, let's rush past them while the DM's busy."
No. pitfall appears out of nowhere. Everybody make a save check with disadvantage. Everybody's in the pit.
Oh, you
Okay.
terrible person.
So as you enter the forest,
Now, if it was me, it would be like, all right, so you rush past them right as their reinforcements are coming around the corner.
So as you enter the forest, could you each make a stealth check?
Oh shit! I have disadvantage on those.
Same here.
Why are we sneaking again? I told you we should just be obvious about this.
8 and a natural 20. No, it's an 8 and an 18. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not being very sneaky at
No,
all.
no. Let me just see.
I was just trying to sneak in
what their
without
perception
them
is. See if
seeing us.
any of them notice anyone moving
Probably
past.
most of them are above 10. So
Okay.
Any of them that don't notice us deserve to be executed for negligence
for not being able to be guards, pretty much.
or dereliction of duty. That's the term I was looking
Yeah. So
But then
as you enter the forest, the fog becomes thicker and thicker. The ground is now just dry dirt rather than the occasional stoning of the road. The deeper you go, the thicker the fog becomes, almost distorting your vision, but your chest also feels like it's becoming tighter. Your breathing is a struggle.
Hang on, Derek Wade. Good horse.
I do not have possession of my token.
Again, hold on. Should be fine now.
Yep, there we go.
As you continue even further and deeper into this forest, your horses start to buckle and start to restrain against you moving them any further.
Whoa there. You can go. Come now. There's nothing problematic here.
Go ahead and make an animal handling check. At disadvantage.
No, it doesn't really matter the disadvantage.
It's 5. Kavala, as you try and calm your horse, it rears up its front legs. You tumble off and you slam onto the ground. With this, the other horses start to stir up a ruckus, and they start to rear as well. Each of you make a, I'll say as Fizzle and Zartlan make your animal handling check.
Disadvantage or normal?
Can I choose to just hop off the horse?
We'll see how the handling goes first.
Normal or
and
disadvantage?
it's a disadvantage, I'm afraid. And
Okay.
as you was on Sir Caval's horse, Ronin, you can make a dexterity save, but it is a disadvantage.
Yeah, I'm a cavalier, so I always land on my feet. It doesn't matter.
It would be a basic standard roll then for you to fall off, Sir Caval, unfortunately. There is certain elements of this space that would negate your advantage but not give you disadvantage for that.
No, I'm not talking about the advantage. I'm talking about landing on my feet when I fall off.
Sure.
And I always land on my feet.
Yeah. Fortunately, Ronin, you're fine. If you're choosing to try and jump off Zartlam, make a dexterity saving throw with disadvantage. Make that a standard roll because you would have tried initially. Fizzle, dexterity saving throw with disadvantage, I'm afraid.
Shit.
Zarlim knows he's not good with animals. At least not ones from this plane.
Oh, hey, damn. A natural 20 and an 18.
Okay. Yep. Okay, that's fine. Fortunately, you jump off just in the nick of time, and as you all land on the ground, your horses just scatter in multiple directions and disappear into the mist.
Shit.
Well, there goes Orion.
And also, what's his
Actually,
face?
let's just find out how much, because they would have each fallen
I'm just saying, in fairness, I never said I took him with me.
off.
Same.
I'll say
I'm
they
sure
each
they'll
take-
find us later.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll find us later at an appropriately convenient.
I will say for now they're still very drunk, but they are awake now. Sore heads, 6 points of bludgeoning damage for each.
Ouch.
Would have been so much funnier if they got carried off by the horses, though.
To be honest, yeah. Convenient.
And
What was I looking for? I forget.
and they kind of each like nurse each other, one arm over the other's shoulder, and they're kind of like just hobbling behind the rest of the group in silence.
Just silent, like, just
Yeah,
mediocre
nursing
crawl.
their hangover and just clearly disappointed that they let the booze get to them. So, you carry on traveling. And
Well, it was nice to have a horse for like 5 minutes.
Hahaha.
okay. The fog sweeps through this forest ground. Occasionally you find like breaks in the fog, but as it moves through, you kind of just keep finding yourself in waves of mist. And
Oh, I heard about this in the adventures that I've had so many of. We should tie ourselves together and probably stick something in our ears. There's got to be some sort of siren that lures men away.
and you come to a break in the road. And there are. Let me just.
Mm.
Bollocks.
Carry these guys over because
Daddy, a new one on.
you want a new one on. The new one will be on in a minute, darling.
I think I came through here once, but I don't remember exactly what happened.
You'd be lucky if you came through
Stop,
here.
Daddy.
You would have likely taken the route
Stop.
right up to where
Stop,
the
Daddy. Stop.
near where the Fey King's forest is, and taken the road
Daddy.
along
Stop.
Zoldan's Reach.
Daddy.
Probably,
Stop.
yeah.
See? Stop.
We have a choice.
You do have a choice. There are 3 separate pathways that lay the route ahead.
I vote number 1.
Number 2.
Can I study the trees to see if I notice anything?
Yeah.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Would be at disadvantage currently.
Is this a nature check?
It would be a nature check on this matter, yeah.
Could I do that as well? Because I am proficient in nature knowledge.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you know of this forest? Which path should we take?
As a paladin, can I pray to my deity for guidance?
I don't see why not.
I'm sort of looking for any markings on the trees.
Sure. You go. Where's your nature? Yeah, it would be in there. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. You,
Have
Aha.
you all seen Princess Bride?
Love
Oh
that
my
film.
god! You pick up your sword and you're just like,
Exactly.
guide me,
Whoops. Whoa, that was weird.
god of tyranny and oppression.
Guide
and
my
everything.
blade.
Yeah.
Sure. So
That's exactly what I'm doing right
for
now.
you, Fizzle, the trees are like quite dry, barky, and covered in moss. You're unfamiliar with the moss. It doesn't look like anything sinister, but it doesn't seem like a type of moss that you're familiar with in terms of brewing any concoctions using like dried moss or anything like that.
Okay.
You do notice, Ronan, that in the top right-hand direction, the number 3, there is a tree, and it's covered in moss, but even though all the bark and the trees are like a dark sort of khaki green / brown, this one seems to have a really like distinctive coloring just behind the part of the bark and covering over the moss.
What does that even mean?
Probably like a marking of like a territorial boundary.
Are you investigating further?
Yeah, let's go for that.
Okay. As you tear away at the moss and you peel back some of the bark, you can see that large chunk of this tree, there seems to be like a large, bright, almost like fuchsia pink painted mark on this tree.
What the balls?
What's the mark?
It's not it's not like a symbol or a shape or anything. It just looks like it's been like marked like a paint mark, almost like what you would see back in like a forester's den, where they would mark what trees they want to cut down. But this is like a much larger marking. It's almost like they've just decided to paint the tree.
And do I recognize it?
You kind of have an inkling of what it might be towards. Go ahead and roll me a history check.
Does he like share this information with us? Could maybe I would be able to help with that as well. I'm quite learned in the history.
Yeah, probably. So, I believe this is a marking to a grand temple of Zuhal, an ancient monk temple of much that was lost thousands of years ago.
Okay. Could I possibly check into his knowledge?
Yeah, go ahead.
See if do a history.
Mhm.
Okay, let's try. 19.
You've heard of this. You've heard of there was once a temple many thousands of years ago located in this region. But a lot of it was you've read a few books, and like one book will tell you one tale and another will tell you a completely different tale, but you know that the only link between them is that it was once a temple and it was once linked to Zahal. That is the only link between all the textbooks that say about a lost or forgotten temple in this region.
Lost temple meaning possibility of magic. Am I okay to assume that?
Possible elements of magic, but knowing what you know of Zulhal is that they were more about discipline of body and mind and defense and stuff like that.
I would say
they did have capabilities of magic, but that's
okay. I would share most of this information and say I would say um visiting a temple to a god of war, loosely using that of course would be mostly a waste of time for me. So you may want to avoid that path.
A god of war?
Well, possibly. I'm using the term loosely. It's a monastic tradition. I doubt any of you have much interest except our monk friend.
Zahal don't worship any gods of war. We are more about censoring ourselves. Is that right, Nick? Like,
yeah, I would say that's right.
The monks wouldn't really worship gods. It would be more of like a Buddhism kind of
Indeed,
kind of
yeah.
vibe. Yeah.
Oh, the goblin isn't really religious, so that's how he translates it for himself. Focus on the body? Yeah, God of War.
Well, I mean, you would at least know what to expect if you take that path. It's like, do you want a predictable outcome, or do you want to,
Face the unknown?
face the unknown?
Could be the temple is in a dark place when like he's just in the middle of the forest, and then we would just have to backtrack. So seems.
I feel like the temple would hold a lot of knowledge that might be useful.
Pertaining to what exactly?
Well, it would be useful for me.
I think, at least if we go this way, it'll be predictable. The outcome will be certain, and we will try and deal with what's there.
It's an ancient temple. No, not. We cannot really know what resides in it, so it's not really predictable.
At the very least, ruins are more cover than an open forest, so we can always spend the night there and see if there's anything to be found during the night. And if there's nothing, we can come back and pick a different path tomorrow.
That is a sensible idea as well, indeed. However, if it is a long way, we could still lose a day if that's okay with everyone.
What are we traveling to get to?
Anywhere
I agree.
else.
Do you have any? If
Nick,
we don't have any of the more immediate.
Sorry, Nick. Like geographically speaking, how long do we think it's going to take us across the forest?
If
to
we
cross
ever
the
manage to get
it could take you weeks.
Yep.
In terms of a solid pathway through the forest, there isn't a known one. It's just that people know that there are pathways in both sides of this forest.
We sort of know like how big the forest is.
Oh, it's miles and miles long. Yeah,
Right,
it could take you weeks, but you know that most people that go in either don't come back out or they don't go very far in if they come back out.
Yep.
But the distance between one side and the other is a handful of days.
Okay.
To be fair, we weren't trying to cross it necessarily. We were just coming in here because people don't go in here.
Yeah.
That's true as well.
I feel like at the least it might be worth finding because our adventures into here we might discover kind of what's causing the forest to be so haunted, and we might be able to set the temple up as a sort of base of operations that we can live in peacefully without.
Well, considering how long it's been, people have probably tried and failed, so or they have succeeded.
But the way we found this mark, it leads me to believe that no one has found it before. It's been covered by centuries of moss.
Possibly, yeah. So basically, it's outweighing the possibility of facing the wilderness in this forest or slightly more civilized, if possible, beings.
Well, I for one have no intention to stay at the temple of another god. Visiting it for a comrade's sake is one thing.
I believe it's not
keep
to
our
a
visit.
god, from what I understood from the monk. It is just a temple someone built, bears their name, or a cult to someone who was a.
Zuhal is the school, the monastic school at Lioness.
Again, not very religious. But it is not a good.
Well, no, like we've all come from schools at Lyonets, and Zuhal, you would all know, is the monastic school, the monk school, where monks would have been trained in like Lyonets.
Basically, what I'm trying to say, it's not a god; it's a tradition.
It was
Yeah.
it was described as a god though, so in character, Zartlam didn't know that.
Well, I'm clarifying now since I said Fizzo is not very religious. Doesn't really understand much about that.
Zartlam would just kind of grunt and say, "Never been there, so wasn't familiar with the name."
Still, do we face an unfamiliar forest or an unfamiliar possibility of temple?
I'm not much of a forest guy. I say civilization.
I'd say forest.
What's with you in forests?
Well, I have dealt with magical and nature-based ingredients my entire life, pretty much. I feel more comfortable dealing with that than an uncertainty of a possible bunch of wild fish people, for instance. I don't know.
There's another method I know you're when trying to decide the path one should take with no clear route.
Random chance.
Zartlam's going to come to the center here,
Flip a stick.
stick the tip of his sword in the ground, and let it.
Ronin's going to catch it before it falls, and just say, "We need to find the temple."
I sort of feel I owe Ronan this, but yes. This temple, if that's where you want to cash in your favors.
Zartlam will take his sword back and say, "If you touch my blade again, you'll find out why I carry two."
What a good idea to touch another man's sword. Come on now.
Well, don't let chance decide my fate, or you will find your fate in my fists.
I like him already.
I'd suggest not throwing out threats in random directions. We are all in this mess together. I'd say we stick together, at least for the time being.
I look forward to testing that challenge someday, but I think for now, there's no need.
I would say it would be an interesting fight, but let's do it when we are a bit safer, if that even happens. So, again,
So who have I got beef with now?
you got the beef yet.
But so whose sword was it? Sorry, I didn't catch whose sword it
That
was.
was Zartlam.
Zartlam.
Zartlam. Okay, I'm gonna make a note of that.
The humanoid, the orcish looking thing. You probably don't understand what it is.
I'm the green one.
The
Yeah.
green one. Okay.
The big green one.
It would be at this point that the sun is at its highest point.
So it's noonish.
Mhm.
So looks like we're taking Route 3 then.
Again, I don't mind if you want to take the tempo route. I was just stating preferences.
Okay. Do you continue further?
Yeah, I'll take point and sort of keep an eye out for more
Yeah. no worries.
paint that I can see in up beneath the trees.
Yeah.
Basically, knowing what you're looking for similar markings. Right?
Yes, or similar paint marks. Yeah.
Yeah, it takes you about 15-20 minutes and you come across another marking, and as you pull back the moss you see that this is a patch of like fluorescent blue, and you carry on. About an hour down this track, the dirt becomes a bit more damp and it's a bit sticky in places, and you come across another tree again, this one with a red paint mark, and you continue further, and the one a little bit further down from there, a purple mark on the tree. And it's by this point that the ground is quite sludgy or swamp-like as you progress forward. Could I have a perception check from you all, please.
Shit. Hey, not too bad. 19.
Yep,
How-
about as expected.
How deep is the mud?
I mean, it's kind of like ankle
So
ankle
up to
deep
my
at this
waist,
point.
basically.
Yeah, it's not quite that bad yet. It's still dirt and there's still
Okay.
mud on the ground. It's still terrainable.
Just out of curiosity, because I'm really tired.
Okay, so let me just do some bits. And then...
No, I mean you're only small, not tiny.
Yeah, I know. I was just, overemphasizing the fact that I'm small. It could lead to possible disadvantages for me.
True enough.
Like, it can literally just disappear if I don't watch my step. Which may be, like, happening right now for all we know. It's like quicksand or underground moment or something. I don't know.
Hopefully I've done this right and you will see what I need you to see. Oh,
At least this isn't the fire swamp, and we don't have to worry about lightning.
Wait, what? We're talking about outerworldly stuff.
Or rodents of unusual size.
Oh shit.
Well, we might still have to worry about those.
Mutated bunny rabbits. I don't know.
I did play one game where a DM reflavored giant rats as giant hamsters.
I'm playing a game where my druid got conjure animals, so I'm conjuring guinea pigs, which just reskin rats.
Oh god.
unfortunately, you're going to have to ignore the big black lines that I've just painted on this bloody picture
Big
because
black
I was on the
lines?
wrong bloody thing. Hold on, you'll see in a minute.
No worries.
I was on the wrong clickable thing, so I've ended up drawing a bunch of black lines on this page. Okay, so as the road continues forward and the sludge around you, you come to this kind of opening in the forest, and you see around you from like on slightly higher ridges and like protruding stone and rockwork that there was definitely something here at one stage, but through the reclamation of this forest and corrosion from either weather or other elements, that this forest has reclaimed this area as its own, and whatever once stood here is no longer here. It is just but a ruin. However, who did a good
19.
Fizzle, you do see in the middle of like this swamp-like area, there seems to be a very large protruding stone with a marking on it. You can just barely see.
Cthulhu face. Okay. Okay, as we're walking slightly closer, I don't have
I'll do it
control
again.
my
Jeez.
I don't know why, it's like...
I know what it is. Hold
no
on.
idea.
Let me...
Like some kind of
Well,
permission thing.
And it's because I'm using a copied one instead of the one that's attached to your...
But that's fine.
Oh, because he has
Should
to
I-
give permission on the token, and then save the token to the sheet so that when he pulls it from the sheet, it'll actually work.
I could just drag my own token out if that helps.
Don't touch anything quite
The
yet.
token is
and
connected to
I'll
the
sort
sheet
it.
with permissions, then dragging it won't work necessarily.
I'm
touch.
asking, I don't know.
Don't touch.
Just give him a moment, though. He'll get it set up.
Yeah.
There you go. Should be good to go now.
Hey.
Every time I drag that, it should work fine. With a bit of luck.
There we go. So I wanted to just mention to everyone, there is, well, apparently this stone, there is a stone pillar, and that's pretty much all that's visibly left from said temple. But do keep in mind, this is just me assuming. Also, do I see these mushrooms? Could I inspect them?
Yeah, you can see that there are protruding sort of fungi of sorts from stonework.
Should I make a nature or
Yeah,
arcana check?
at this stage, the mist is drifting in, so yes, it will be at disadvantage.
Okay.
Zartlam's just going to be reclining against a tree and looking at his broken blade,
In that,
brooding.
okay. Also, in that case, would I be able to do an arcana check on this goddamn mist or something?
You can do. It will be at disadvantage.
Okay. This is the nature check. It's not too good.
Mm,
12.
you know, you, from your vague from your vast understanding of things like fungi, some fungi can be used for good things like medicinal purposes, and some can be used for negative effects, and some in the right environments can be used to even make things combust.
Oh
And
no.
you know that this is certainly something that is a combustible.
Nobody move. Nobody move. We have a big problem.
What's that noise?
It sounds like a grinding or like a whatchamacallit.
That's Zartlam sharpening his sword because he didn't pay attention. No,
Uh, okay.
Hold on. Nobody move. This fog may be combustible. All the mushrooms around.
Did you want to? Did you want to do your Arcana check for the
Yep.
mist?
A disadvantage again, right?
Yes, please.
I can't see anything. I should light this torch.
Don't do anything like that. 16.
Yeah, you know that this mist is just a thick, like a heavy. It's
Obscures.
no, it doesn't obscure. It's almost like it's a restrainative effect. It kind of makes things difficult to do, i.e., breathing, moving.
Shit.
And it's probably at this point that you realize that this is why when you're looking at things or trying to investigate things, it's you're not getting the full grasp of it. It's kind of almost like it's obscuring your mentality to do things.
Well then, we have two separate and I believe the quite dangerous problems. One of them is all these mushrooms. They are prone to causing us trouble in terms of they may explode if you come in contact with fire. However, we could use that to our advantage. The other thing, the smiths is gonna be a constant problem for us. Do keep in mind that all your reactions will be slowed by it. It's magical in nature. I suggest we stick together and have a look around the immediate vicinity.
Okay. As you explain this to the rest of the group, can you each make one more perception check at disadvantage?
Shit.
as he's saying that, Zartlam is going to speak up and say,
I
if
missed.
if this mist hinders movement and reactions, this could actually be a good place to train.
Okay. Sure.
Not in the middle of a magical forest when everything is your enemy.
Okay.
I don't believe that's too wise.
So,
Effective as it may be, it also may mean death.
as you're warning the others of what you've learned of the fungus in the area and the effects of the mist, Ronin, you move closer to the if I can bloody get it now.
Don't tell me there's an aboleth there.
Hold on. something stirs in the water, rushes out, and before you have a time to react,
Oh! Big ass motherfucker.
rushes out and takes a bite at you. While the rest of you are watching this happen, one comes from round the stonework, almost like it was invisible to begin with. It was there, just wasn't responding to it, and takes a bite at you also, Fizzle.
Frick.
So, first of all, we'll do the giant crocodile's bite. And because 21 hit.
Yeah, 21 hits.
Oh, Jesus Christ. For 27 piercing damage.
Wow.
Ow!
And you are, you'll need to do a escape of DC 16. You're grappled to the end of its turn or restrained.
Oh shit, this is bad.
Two of your comrades are currently way off in the distance.
Did you say 21 or 27?
27 piercing.
Is that damage? Oh my god.
Right, and what did you need me to do?
It'll be a strength save. Strength check of DC 16 to escape the grapple.
A strength check or a strength save?
Should be safe.
Save. Sorry, I apologise. It will be currently at this point disadvantage because the fog is still in.
Yeah.
Oh, then I've got
Well, you never know.
Oh
okay.
boy.
Okay, so you're currently restrained.
This disadvantage will fuck us badly.
And where are we? Where's the other crocodile? Well, you say that, but this crocodile only managed to hit because it rolled a 21 with the advantage. So let's.
Also, it affects others as well.
Well, we'll see. And one at you, Fizzle, from the smaller one. 20 to hit.
It hits, but like, don't advantage and disadvantage cancel each other out?
We don't know if the crocodiles have disadvantage.
I'm asking them. I want to live.
This is 12 piercing damage.
Oh my god, that hurts.
And while the rest of you are witnessing this happen, you do see another one crawl around the stonework as well. And I think because your two allies, I may have to debuff this whole encounter, as your two allies are about 80 foot behind you, back to back, crouched in the sloppy mud, currently snoring.
Ah, makes sense. Oh, this guy could not appear.
Okay, so I need you all to roll initiative.
Click your
Are we on?
tokens.
Are we on disadvantage? Are we on disadvantage for?
Currently, yes.
Oh god. Oh wait. I'm gonna roll because we can't really click disadvantage for initiative.
I don't think I can roll much worse than that, but we'll try.
How much did I get? I got a 4, I think. Yeah, I got a 4. Hold on. There we go. A 4 and a 10, so.
I get a 3.
I already fixed mine.
Oh, wait, are we doing this at disadvantage?
Yep.
Right.
Hey, Cavell and I are acting at the same time.
Okay, we all ready?
This one, Tendra.
Ronin.
I am going to attempt to get myself out of this crocodile's mouth.
Uh-huh.
So is that another strength save at disadvantage?
Is. I would say, as you all prepare yourself, the breeze picks up, the mist does sort of dissipate from this area for a very short period of time, you can roll a regular check, a regular save.
Regular. Okay.
Oh my god, you did it!
Okay.
Maybe.
There's only one thing you should do now.
Um,
Fucking run!
I'm gonna bonus action unarmed strike.
Okay.
You could take a patient defense.
Oh, no, because I'm mobile. If I punch him, I can run away without disengaging.
I see.
Yeah.
21 does hit.
Whack.
That's 6 points of damage,
Okay.
and then da, 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 da. Boy,
50 feet?
yeah, I think so. I think I'm 50 feet.
Don't.
Monk plus mobile.
Yeah,
Yeah, plus 50 feet. It's 30-foot base plus 10 for mobile because I'm for mobile plus 10 for monk for
but which
movement.
leads me to ask something. Is this rough terrain? Because I think I heard rough terrain.
Currently, it's just
Okay.
yeah, it's normal at the moment.
Okay. Because I don't have that much movement speed.
No, if you was to go any further, it would be difficult terrain because it's practically swamp.
Like,
It's just very, very damp and sticky and icky.
nasty. Nasty.
Okay. So.
Shit.
Then
Yeah, so
giant croc.
that's
This one did.
Are you just lucky it wasn't a multi-attack?
Oh, God.
Kind of comes over to the other, comes over to where you are, Fizzle, and kind of hisses at the other croc to assert its dominance over its prey. That's going to be its turn at that stage. But the other crocodile will hiss back and still attempt an attack at you. With does a 14 hit?
No, it does not.
It misses. So it kind of leeches at you to kind of bite and miss, almost like it was just telling you if his boss wasn't there to assert dominance, then you would have been his. And he kind of swirls his body around, and the one by you, Zartlam, will rush at you and attempt to bite.
All right.
Does a 15 hit?
It does not.
Okay. It snaps in your direction to almost give you a warning. And one other does creep around
Oh my god.
to see
I'm
what
gonna
the deal
cast,
is.
yeah, I'm gonna cast sleep. So we'll see how this ends up going. But yeah, just get rid of the big one, and we can deal with the rest.
I'm gonna
If
try.
If yours doesn't work, I have something that should work very well on.
Okay.
I think sleep actually. I'm gonna have to read it.
It's AOE.
Oh my
But-
god, I have animal friendship. I forgot I have animal friendship.
If they're animals or beasts,
Crocodiles are beasts.
Oh, I'm pretty sure the smaller ones are at least. We don't know about the bigger one. We'll see.
yeah.
They all fall under a beast alignment at least.
At the moment, at least. What does that mean?
It's a
Phase
weird. It's a
Are
weird
they
temple.
going to polymorph into a dragon?
It's a
Phase two.
weird
Well, you see-
temple.
Well, you see, the lake is radioactive, and
Well then. Yeah. Is that its turn? Is it my turn?
Yeah, they're the crocodiles. It's Fizzle's turn.
Shit. This is scary. Could I take the disengage action and run away from these two?
As your
Could I?
action, yeah, you could disengage and
Run away. One second, let me check how much movement speed I can do. 25. Okay. I'm gonna run behind these three and hide. And I'm going to use my bonus action to cast Shield the Fate on Sir Cavell. As I'm passing through, I'm just, you're gonna have to hold the line while we do something about them. And I cast Shield the Fate. You have 2 more AC on top of yours now.
Oh man.
Yep. And I'm gonna use my bonus action to take. Oh wait, never mind. That was my bonus action. So movement action. That was it. I cannot do anything else right now.
okay.
Mm. All right then.
You should probably mark your AC in some way on your token so you remember.
I mean, I think you can all see at the moment that Ronan is very ropey.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, Sir Cavell steps up to the large beast and pulls out bacon. And says, everyone loves bacon. And I cast Animal Friendship
Okay.
and gives it to the big guy.
Okay. What's his intelligence?
Probably not that far. Not smart.
It's actually -4.
Yes!
No. The modifier needs to be 4. I don't know how much that is.
I will tame
No,
these
it's
beasts.
-4 on this creature.
well, its total needs to be
Yeah.
to be less than 4 is the thing. So
Yeah.
that's good that it's low.
Yeah. Okay. So
But it's
I
a
see.
wisdom save, not an intelligence save.
Oh, jeez, I spilled coffee all over.
Is that in
I want to
character?
fix that. Be my friend, crocodile. Throws a cup of boiling coffee in its face.
Oh my god. Be my friend.
Do you have a second level slot?
No,
Damn it.
I'm a level 1 bard.
I see.
A 10.
I win! I win! Spell DC is 14.
Nice.
So Sir Cavell feeds it the bacon, and he's just like scratching its jaw, and he's just like, "Aren't you such a good boy?"
He's got a. You can see its hind leg like begins to tap and like tap and slap in the mud, and he's like. Okay. Zotlam.
Zatlin's going to walk forward to the middle, glancing back at the two in the back and saying, "You're frightened of a bunch of lizards? I'll show them their place."
So you walking
That's
away
what I
from?
do.
Are you walking away from the crocodile that attempted its attack?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
However, before I do, I am casting Shield of Faith on myself.
Okay.
Oh god.
So, let's see.
This could end badly.
I mean, if you attack it, the beast is not responsible for reacting badly to your attack.
Yep.
Even with your shield, is your AC 24?
It is not.
Okay, I'm gonna snip this because it's just pure luck.
What happened?
I'd rather
Nat
show.
20
I'd
problem.
rather show when I got nat 20s. Yeah.
No, that's fine.
Why did I do this with the biggest thing around, Sakla? I'm gonna do this anyway.
Yep.
That's 9 plus 10 piercing damage,
Oh fuck.
and you need
Yes.
to do a strength save or be grappled.
Which I do get to ignore 3 of, thanks to my
Okay.
Heavy armor.
heavy armor master. So it's only 16.
Only.
Yeah. And you fail your strength save, you're grappled, you cannot move to the big one.
Yes.
And just because you said that, I'm spending my luck point to reroll.
No!
Can you reroll a save?
Yeah.
Yes.
Any d20 roll.
No, I'm not
15.
grappled.
You're fine.
Shit. I was petting the thing. Why are you doing this? No.
Because I'm not going to do anything to the big one. But I need to be in the middle because it's a 30-foot aura from my conquering presence.
Oh.
Okay.
So all the little ones need to make me wisdom saves or be frightened of me for a minute.
Nice. Wisdom saves.
I knew what I was doing.
But we
I
assumed.
Creature.
Oh my
Come
god.
on.
It's the whole Vegeta Vegeta thing. It's just like, is he gonna punch the guy? Or is he just
Well,
gonna scare
the
him?
one that just attacked you fails. As a
It
2.
crits me and I ignore it. That's pretty scary. DC is 13, by the way. I don't have a very high DC.
No worries.
Level 4 after all.
One is the one here is a 13, and the other one also fails. So currently this one, that one, and this one.
Disadvantage on attacks on him.
God.
And they cannot move closer to me.
Oh, great. That means they're gonna go for me. Shit.
Or, run away. We'll see.
Okay, Ronin.
Can I use the rest of my movement?
Oh, sure.
I only
Sorry.
move about 20 feet, so seeing that one isn't afraid of me, I will move the rest of my movement towards that one.
Okay.
So is the big one friendly towards us now?
It seems to be allowing Sir Caval to pet
One last
him.
thing I do. One last thing I do have to make
I'm petting it and being like, oh yes, you're such a good boy.
Sorry, is that one?
Oh, I was just saying I had to make a concentration check for my shield of faith,
Okay.
but it was only a DC 10. So.
I'm gonna run over to this one in my poor health, and I'm gonna take out my sword, but make 3. Make 2 unarmed strikes.
Okay. Yep, 24 hit. Does a 12. 13 will hit.
13 hits. I am then going to spend a key point.
Yep.
So that's another unarmed strike.
Do you have the thing that you can make it prone?
No. That's
That'll hit.
Oh, I have
open hand. Open hand. And 23.
Yep, that'll hit.
For another 7.
Okay.
And then I'm going to run away.
One moment, let me do the damage, and then... You managed to knock it out cold. In fact, as your final blow hits, you see a pool of blood spilling from the corner of its mouth.
Oh, okay. In that case, I will not move away. I just sort of pop over here.
Okay. The giant crocodile is busy being petted currently. I forget. Is friendship only friends? Is friendship to everyone, isn't it? Or is it just?
Yeah, it's charmed.
Yeah.
Look up the charmed condition. And the spell doesn't really say much, but charmed creature can't attack you or use harmful abilities, and I have an advantage to interact with it. So it's like the follow up would be animal handling or something to.
Or persuasion,
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't think it makes us charmed to all of us.
No,
This
I
is
think
just
it's
you.
just you.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
He could attempt to give it an order.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the next step, but I only have so many actions per
Yeah, I know.
So in that instance, like being charmed by you and enjoying the stroke, it kind of notices Zartlan come a bit closer, look over, and does attack.
Shit.
As it does
Now,
come
see, if I'd
closer.
known that, I would have made it make the save against fear as well.
Yeah.
Let's see. He whips you with his tail for 23.
Yeah, that hits.
Jesus Christ.
Rolling really good. 18 bludgeoning damage. You need to do succeed a DC 16 strength saving throw or be knocked prone.
And the damage is reduced to 15 for me.
Okay.
Happy that you're still alive. And concentration and the strength save.
I'm getting there. Be patient, please.
Well done. Okay. Good to know.
Wait, what?
Then
I'm already at 6 hit points. You don't need to make my situation worse.
the other crocodile will come around the back of Serkaval and almost act like he's not going to attack, to kind of like almost like hide the fact from the bigger crocodile, but will attempt to bite.
Don't forget it's at disadvantage.
It is. Does a 13 hit.
No problem.
Serkaval?
No, a 13 does not hit.
Okay. So as he passes you, kind of whips his neck around and tries to bite you in midair. And kind of nothing occurs, but you now have this other crocodile behind you. The one that is scared. Oh no, that was that one. Not that one. That's okay.
The one that's not scared.
The one that's not scared will move closer to you, Zartlan.
Shit.
And will attempt a bite. Does a 6 hit? No.
What, the balls?
No, it does not.
Thankfully.
Okay. Yeah, again.
That's my hit points, not my AC.
Again, this one just kind of snaps at just nothing in the air at you, trying to assimilate some sort of dominance.
Show how it's done.
Fizzle.
Am I considered in melee range with this thing?
You're about 5 feet out, so so you're 10 foot away from its attack.
Okay, I am uncertain about how far it can reach me about the tail, so I'm just gonna move around it a bit.
Yeah.
without leaving its presence,
Sure.
just in case.
Well, you're outside its range, so it should be fine.
Yeah, I'm uncertain. It has a long tail, so
Yeah.
that's how I will do it. I'll just go somewhere around to the side here, and I'm going to throw a acid flask at it.
Okay.
Chemical acid. It needs to make a DC save of what was it? 15 or take 5 acid damage.
With that dexterity, is it?
Yes, dex save.
16.
Damn it. So it passes over its head and just slumps to the ground and takes no damage. I'm gonna
Flashes like
use
in
my...
between Gaval and the larger crocodile.
Oh shit. I'm gonna I'm gonna use my bonus action to prepare a swift step potion.
Okay.
1 second. And that's my turn for now.
Okay.
I'll be FK for 1 minute.
Sure. Okay. So Gaval.
Oh my god, what can I do with this big guy? I mean, I could attempt to ride it down to the rock that's in the middle of the thing.
Please do.
Yeah, let's try and make it so that the thing lets me do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
By the way, Fizzle, have you seen the handout for the new Artificer build?
So
Not handout.
no,
PDF.
Tell me when you're
I
ready.
don't know if this is stepping through a square, but I will try to mount the beast.
Okay. You just getting on his back?
Yeah,
Okay.
like making sure that he knows I'm going to do this. So it's just like, oh, we're so nice friends, and it's just like trying to get a leg over and seeing where it goes from there.
Okay. Would that be an advantage for an animal handling check?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
20.
Yeah. He seems to be okay with you climbing on his back. Okay. Just give me one moment.
And then, let's see, how does this work? Mount.
I have a really weird question. What? That animal friend thing, is it a cantrip?
Level 1.
Could you do this every day and like keep this as a freaking mount?
Yes, I could do that.
As long as it keeps failing its saving throws.
Yeah.
So let's see. An independent mount retains its initiative. Bearing a rider puts no restrictions on actions it can take. It acts like it wishes. But yeah, I'll try and issue it a command to go into the water.
Oh, the DM said just 1 moment.
Yeah. Oh god.
You need a little nap, don't you? You can watch Paw Patrol after a little nap.
We're gonna have to feed it its baby crocodiles or something.
Well, we have a bag of holding that we can throw the meat in there, so I see no trouble there. It's gonna last for a few days.
Did you hear me before, by the way, Fizzle?
No, probably. I was AFK for a minute.
They actually released a new Artificer.
Now it's boring. I read it.
I actually kind of like it, but I can also understand why you would prefer the previous version.
It's a spellcaster. I want it to be an alchemist. It's more of a spellcaster in the new version, which is boring. I could just play a wizard, which would be more powerful.
I like the infusions personally.
Yeah, so Nick, I will use the.
I can still do that
I will
technically.
issue it the command to move back into the water.
Okay.
But because it's let's see, it's half my movement speed converted into the mount because I mounted it this turn, so 15 feet.
Okay. So does that do it on its turn? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. Zartlam.
You know what? I'm at 6 hit points, so why not? Zartlam's gonna trust that Cavell's got the big one handled at this point,
Mhm.
and he's gonna try and wrestle.
Okay.
So I'm going to attempt to.
Okay.
Alligator wrestling. Yep. Oh,
That's my luck tonight.
Let's see. Though,
Good.
because his nap might be lower.
is your luck point reduced to 1?
Yeah, because I got it from a. I don't have it from the feet. I have it from
Yeah, I'm
something
gonna
else.
have to
So I
take
only
a
have
call
one.
for a minute. I'll be AFK again. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. You fail. It's 19 athletics on that.
Apparently, I really do need to get that new character ready.
Anything else from you, Zartlam?
I don't really have any bonus actions since I already have the Shield of Faith up. So
No worries.
that's it.
Okay. Ronin, taking one down.
Yeah, I'm gonna run in and take some shots at this one
Okay.
because I see my trusty sword friend isn't very good with his sword.
To be fair, I haven't actually used this sword yet.
Yeah. And again, gonna do 2 unarmed strikes.
Okay. 21 will hit.
The 12.
12 is its AC, so 12 to beat.
So that is 18 points of damage.
Oh, yeah.
At least one of us is rolling good.
Yeah.
But it's only with attack rolls. Everything else is literally like a 5 and below. Is he still up?
Yeah, he barely. I mean, he's kind of like struggling to move. Like he's limping quite severely, and you can see that you has managed to do some severe damage.
I'm going to use a key point and hit him again.
Okay. 17 will hit.
6 points.
Yeah. You batter him into his death, and you see its eyes just go like dull and grey like as he kind of just flops into the sludge in the ground.
And as a free action, I'm going to look at Zartlam, give him a wink, and say fists.
Okay. The giant crocodile is going to God, come on. Is going to make its move back into the water slowly. It does keep going below the waterline.
Oh shit!
To the point where you're currently holding on to its like underneath like some of its protruding scales there, Cavell. And like the water line is just below your neckline of your armor, and some of the water is actually like creeping in a little bit on the top of your armor line of your chest plate.
Well, I'm still breathing.
Yeah, you're just above. Yeah, your neck's up in the air, and you can feel he's still got a little way of descent. You could feel the buoyancy of his body. He's still got a bit of depth to go.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have the constitution to survive a couple of rounds.
It's 1 plus your constitution modifier in minutes. Usually.
Yeah. So
sure.
that's fine.
So this crocodile comes around to the front of you, there, Fizzle. It whips its tail round, and knocks one of the mushrooms at the top,
Oh no.
and there's a massive explosion, like a fiery burst, and it sets off a chain of reactions. It's like, and like the three four sort of caps that you saw of this fungus like just engulf in flame and burn. The crocodile does yelp and look, and then sees you and gives you a really solid, like horrifying glare. But that's its current action. It did
Why
take
did
some
it attack
damage.
the mushrooms?
It just negated how big its form was, and whipping its form around knocked the mushrooms without realizing its intent was to attack you.
Okay.
But it has taken some damage on its tail from the explosion.
I thought someone cast a spell on it in the first place. I was like, because I was AFK.
No.
Okay.
And Fizzle, it is
Yep.
now your turn.
Shit. Gonna quickly do a few hand gestures, pull out some acidic compounds, and then chuck it in its face. Hopefully, I'm not going to miss. This is save a 15 dex. It's a decent roll. Hopefully, it doesn't make it. Hold on. Did I
9
get my dice on?
missed. Sorry, it failed its saving throw. So
Nice. It takes
11
11
points
points of acid damage.
that was its hit points. So as you throw it on its face, the glass shatters against its eye. The acid starts to eat away, and you can start to see the internal parts of its skull start to decay and dissolve. You see its brain just cave, and it's almost like a balloon that's been let out the air, and it's just kind of and just
Nice.
pulls. So yeah. So Cavell.
Sweet. I will issue another command to go towards the rock.
Okay.
That's 30 feet.
So you would be at advantage, correct?
No, I've already mounted it. This just
Okay.
happens.
Okay. So you issue it to go more towards the center. Okay,
Yep.
that's fine. Does that
So
then?
it would double my movement. It would be 30 feet in one go.
Sure.
So it's right there.
I'm just gonna dump my lay on hands into myself and then watch what's going on with Kaveh.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, like
Ronin?
How deep is the swamp?
It's hard to tell. It's too murky.
we don't know.
Are these bits walkable, or is this just?
There seems to be some elements that are like slightly protruding. Like you could see, like they're a little bit more shallow. It's still underneath the waterline, but you can see that there are small amount of mounds to possibly aid someone to get over to the middle if needs be.
Okay, so I'm gonna walk around to sort of see where this is.
Mm-hmm.
That's just, actually, do you know what? I'll dash because.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's and then I've still got an action, haven't I? So I can jump across. Can I make a jump across?
Oh yeah, sure.
Do you want like an acrobatics?
Yes, please.
Dice don't fail me now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you make it across onto that platform.
Are we out of initiative?
Not yet.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's everything I can do.
Wonderful.
Oh God, please don't let there be another crocodile.
So the crocodile goes below the waterline, as it doesn't seem to want to like swim. It's kind of literally you've asked it to cross and walk to into the water and now to the other side. So it's literally using its movement to crawl along the bottom of this seabed or swamp bed, maneuvering through some vines and actually let's
Makes you
have it
wonder
roll.
why would it make its life miserably tough?
Let's see skill check. Actually it will be a save check.
Uh-oh.
So as it's maneuvering through this swamp, and there's a few sort of vines and tanglies, its back leg gets tangled, and you can like feel it like lurching to try and yank away. It is unable to move, and you're still holding on to this beast.
Well, that's unfortunate.
And I'll also tag that in because I just randomly rolled to see if it would save against being tangled, and it's a -1, and he rolled a 1
For strength?
For Dex. He's
Oh,
got 4.
It's entangled
His
in
next
the swamp.
his next one will be a strength if he continues.
I was like, how is this thing a -1 strength?
I have no idea.
It's not
Um,
tough.
Well, if so long as it's peacefully trying to maneuver where it goes, I'm sure it'll be fine.
Are you holding on?
Yeah.
Okay. You're high constitution, haven't you?
Yep.
How many? What's your modifier?
4.
Okay.
My
5.
modifier is 2 and 4 in a save.
Okay. Good to know. So, crocodile down. Fizzle?
Oh, well. Can I look around, see, like, I'm gonna get, like, let me check how far away this is gonna, 5, 10, 15, 10, 10, 10, 25. I'm gonna get about here. Oops. And can I take a look at the surrounding area, see what's up?
Yeah, sure.
Do I need to make a perception check to see if I not see anything?
Yeah, you do a perception check.
Do I have disadvantage?
At the moment, the mist is slowly rolling in, but it's not quite there. So you're fine.
18 perception.
Yeah, I mean, looking around, you can see that there are a lot of like stonework here that is clearly like man-made. That's now just like either being reclaimed from the land. Again, you see a handful of these like combustible funguses, and it's just surrounding tree line and some sort of some higher end sort of cliff edges where the mounds sort of climb a bit, but other than that, there's not much else around. You can see that the marking on this stone is almost like a fist like shape.
Okay.
It's almost like it's embedded, like it's you know, you get like
indentation.
Yeah.
Okay. Do I make out any specific symbol or just roughly fist?
Not from here. You can just kind of see that the indentation seems to be like a shape of an indented fist. It's almost like someone really like cleverly punched it and left its mark.
Lol. Okay, we'll see that in a bit, I guess. I'm gonna take my bonus action and drink my Swift Step potion now.
Okay.
And I'm gonna take the rest of my movement to go roughly around here. I think that's 20. Yeah, it's about here.
Okay, Sir Cavall.
Yes. Well, let's try again.
Bzz, 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 bzz.
You said the crocodile is stuck?
Yeah, he seems to have his. There's several like vines, like swamp vines that are like tangled around his leg.
Can I cut it?
Yeah,
like,
sure.
Like stick the sword
It
down.
will
and
be
kind of-
disadvantaged because you're underwater.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's make a longsword slashing attack. Disadvantage 14.
Yeah, go ahead and make an attack. Yeah, you
Six.
managed to like slice and slash some of them away.
Yeah. And
Cool.
we'll see if it can tear itself loose now.
Yeah. Zartlam, you just continuing watching this unfold.
Actually noticing that Ronan found a path around, he will start heading around that way, but at a relatively leisurely pace.
Sure.
Not dashing.
We'll just hold his action to attack if something attacks him.
Yeah, sure, no worries. Ronin.
I'm gonna jump
Actually,
across.
May
Yes,
I amend
sir?
that to attack? May I amend that to attack if something attacks him or one of his? Sorry,
Looking
just
for
wanted to add that.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a run up and jump across.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want another athletics check?
I think your previous one was good enough.
Okay, and then south. And then yeah, I'm just going to sort of carefully enter and have a look around.
Okay. You want to roll an investigation check for me?
I would love to. Investigation. Hmm. 12.
Yeah. I mean, even with a 12, you can tell that this stone seemed to have been placed here shortly after whatever this place was began to fall apart. It seemed to be part of like a pillar that once stood here. And the carving in seems to have like you can't tell if it's a magical essence, but there's definitely something about this stone that seems to be giving off like a weird vibe to you.
Like a negative vibe to me when you say
No,
weird. Do I get...
it's something familiar. It feels familiar. Like it's just like like an unnatural force or an unnatural vibe. But it definitely seems familiar to you. As you walk around the pillar, you can see this same marking of this indentation of this fist. Regular. It's not like oversized or oddly proportioned. It just seems to be almost like a placement, an indentation of a fist shape.
Do I get the urge to punch it? Or just to gently place my fist in it?
You tell me.
Let's start with just gently placing the fist into this glowing, ominous thing.
Okay. As you place
I'm on 4 hit points, so I'm you know I'm going down either way. So
as you place you go to almost. You try the gentle approach, and as your fist gets closer to this indentation, it's almost like it's magnetized, and you strike this stone, and with a boom, you disappear.
Yes.
And
no one sees this probably.
I would imagine the boom would at least let everyone know. It would be heard within 300 feet of its range.
Oh shit!
But you can roll to see if you noticed him disappear, but you definitely heard the boom.
Okay.
Can I have advantage on mine since I was specifically following?
Yeah, you was looking in that direction, absolutely.
13. Natural 20.
Zartlam, you
Finally, I get a
witnessed.
good roll.
Yeah, you witnessed the whole thing unfurl. You saw as he went to place his fist in, he almost got like, it's almost like his form got sucked into the stone and he vanished. It's almost like he shifted out of existence. Fizzle, you're not sure if he's just around the other side of the stonework or.
Oh, as I'm looking at him, I was looking at Zartan.
So, very quickly. Let's see. Where is it?
Whispers!
Actually, yeah, let's have some fun. Would you like to join me in a whisper channel?
How do I do that?
There's a whisper channel.
Yeah, if you go up the group voice channels, there's whisper one, channel 1 and whisper channel 2.
On Discord.
Yep.
Okay.
Group voice channels. I'll go into whisper 1.
Bonjour.
Okay. So, if you look at the bottom left-hand corner of this page, you will see yourself.
Oh yeah.
Okay. You find yourself in a surrounding ether of space, almost like a nebula. And surrounding this environment are 3 humanoid individuals in robes. You can instantly notice them and identify them as monks of Zuhal.
I graciously bow in the way of Zahal.
The one standing closest to you approaches. He places out delicately his finger onto your forehead, and you feel him make a symbol. Your body feels warm and energized. You receive a full healing.
Oh, good. Ronin, thanks you for your blessing.
He smiles and says, Ke Kun Ken, we have been waiting for you. You have made great pilgrimage. We are the forgotten masters of Suhal. You first to travel in 100 years. Now it is time you prove that you are worthy to wield Escanor, as the prophecy has foretold.
I will do you proud, my masters.
You must prove yourself capable. You must be able to strike 3 blows on each of us, causing enough damage to wind. If you miss any of us, we shall retaliate. Let's begin! And he kind of like gets into a defensive stance.
Okay. With the healing, did I regain key points?
No.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, it's good to know. Good to know. Okay, so attack and bonus action. I'm gonna attack.
Okay.
And but sort of before, I'm gonna take a knee and make a quick prayer, and then come forward and strike.
Okay.
19.
Yep, you hit.
18.
Yep. The first one lands.
Yeah.
The second one, he parries. So you just miss.
Right.
So go ahead and roll your damage on the first one.
9.
And he retaliates with 8 points of damage.
Does he not need to try and hit me?
Nope.
Okay. Good to know. So, is it just me? Is it just like single combat at the moment? So it's single combat on each of them.
The
Is
other,
that the
the other
impression I'm
two,
getting?
the other two, there wasn't any indication that there was a fight. You just had to hit them.
Right. Okay. And it's 3 in a row.
Okay.
Yep. So I'm gonna.
Well, it just said 3 times. It didn't say three in a
Okay.
row. So you've hit him once. You almost hit him twice, but he managed to dodge and retaliate.
Right. Where's it gone? Here we go. Okay. So
Yep.
attack once for
Yep.
unnatural 20.
Mhm.
Attack twice. Come on, come on. For a 9.
Okay. So the first one, go ahead and roll damage.
Where is it? Another. Oh, I'm good with the damage dice today.
Sure. And the second one, he moves his form away. He grabs you by the chest and then he pushes you. You can make a dexterity saving throw. I'll say DC 14. Oh, okay.
Fails.
So you are moved back into the chamber. You are actually moved closer to the one that was behind you at this point.
Okay. Do I get the sense that I'm engaged with him now?
Well, he's just still in like a meditative state. His eyes are closed, but you did say hit them each.
3 times.
Mhm.
Okay. So I'm gonna take a strike at the one closest to me.
Mhm.
Natural
Okay.
20.
Nice.
For 4 and for 9 points of damage.
Mhm.
I'm mobile, so I'm then gonna go to the one that I was fighting first of all.
Mhm.
Sort of take a jump off the pillar in the middle.
Yep.
And in true ninja style, try and punch him again.
Sure, no worries. Go ahead.
21.
Nice. Go ahead and roll damage.
Okay. 8.
Yeah. As you hit him, he kind of stumbles back, looks at you, smiles, bows, and steps back out into the ether and vanishes.
Okay. Can I spend a key point and go back to this guy?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So yeah, I'm gonna spend a key point and run back and make an attack on that guy again.
Okay.
No, natural 1.
Oh, okay. So as you go to hit him, it's almost like his form's not there.
Right.
And you can kind of almost sense something looming behind you as where is he? Trials. Where's me check? 21 to hit for 6 points damage.
Yeah, that hits. Oh, how much? Sorry, how much was the first damage? It was 8, wasn't it?
You did 8.
No, he did.
The very
he did
first.
8. Yeah, so 8.
Yes, it was 8. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Again. So is this guy still over here?
The guy that you've just attacked.
No, this guy.
Oh yeah, he's not meditating. He's got both palms together and he's just looking in your direction, watching your technique.
Okay. So I'm gonna punch this guy. No. And punch him again. 12. I'm guessing that misses.
Does miss.
I'm gonna. Yeah, no, not gonna use my last key point.
Okay. So the looming essence from behind you shifts, and you 6 on the first one.
Oh god. Yep.
And 6 on the next one.
I basically cannot miss. Okay, so unarmed strike 15. Does that hit?
Yep.
Unarmed strike 24. I'm guessing that hits. So that's 3 on this guy now.
Mhm.
Damage.
He's yeah. Go on. Go ahead and roll damage. 'Cause,
Yeah, 8 and 7.
yep.
15.
Yeah. So he stands up, and you kind of see his face. His skin is like almost like he's been holding his breath in, and then he just goes, smiles at you, lingering one eye, and walks out into the ether and vanishes.
Okay. And at this point, I'm going to kind of wave at the other guy and take a short rest. Is that?
Yeah, sure. Look, that's fine. Yeah, go ahead and roll a hit dice because it is literally just a trial to hit them. It's not a battle. It's not. You're not in initiative or anything like that. So
Okay.
you will just be
So
in this space like for as long as it takes, unless you fail.
I got 10.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm going to run towards this guy, and then I'm going to use my last key point for flurry of blows. 13,
Mhm.
12, oh, for fuck's sake. And 10.
None of them hit. And what he seems to do is he kind of shifts away and he's just pushing your form and you're kind of just getting battered around like around the room, but you're not actually taking any damage at this stage. It's almost like he's toying with you to play with him.
Okay. What am I going to do? Unarmed strike again. 25. Good.
Yeah, that'll
Good
do
boy.
it.
Good boy. 21.
That'll
Thank you
do it
very
as
much. So that's 13 points of damage.
Mhm.
Does he do anything, or try hit
He's
him again?
looking at you and he's like, "You can do better."
I'm gonna hit him again.
Okay.
Come on, come on, come on. 9. And again, 18.
18 will hit, but not until you take the 9 points of bludgeoning damage from his blow.
Still up.
Okay, good to know. And yeah, you manage to land the final strike. He bows to you
I bow back.
and he turns and leaves and disappears from the ether. Suddenly, the stone behind you glows, and as you look at it, its form becomes translucent like glass. It becomes brighter and brighter, and the form almost looks like it's being absorbed by this light, and its shape transforms into a long quarterstaff.
Okay.
It floats in its space, glowing with this energy.
I get the sense that I need to reach out for this, so I'm gonna reach out and grab it.
Okay, let me just give a sec to find me paperwork. What are these? It's the only thing about having too many. Can. There it is. Yep. As you reach out to grab the staff,
Yeah.
you hear the monk's voice in your head again. Kengugan, you have.
Sorry, you were gonna cut out.
Sorry. Say again.
Sorry, you were cutting out. I couldn't hear what you were saying.
Sorry, it's probably my end. Kukuken, you have successfully proven yourself to be worthy of the quarterstaff of Eskuna. Once This staff was a spear. It was destroyed. This is what was left. But do not fear. It still holds great power. And as you hold on to the staff, you find yourself back at the swamp.
Perfect. And as I reappear,
Uh-huh.
I'm sort of holding the staff in the air, shouting,
You can do that as we rejoin the normal Tainted Names.
Yeah, like we make like a saddle on the crocodile.
I can
It's
make you
like a-
anything, to be honest. I just need the materials. It's what I do. I am an artisan after all. Someone's victorious or something.
You see Ronin reappear where he disappeared, holding above his head a quarterstaff,
Nice.
shouting, "Ho!"
As you come out of, as you see, oh, why can I not move anything? Yeah, as you see Ronin reappear, you're currently out of initiative by this point. You see Sir Cavell with his large crocodile, like now severely exhausted by trying to struggle and maneuver through the swamp weeds that have restrained it.
Oh,
And Zartlam, as soon as he saw him disappear, would have used his racial jump ability to just hop straight to the island.
Mhm.
I'm gonna attempt to do the same, but the easier way.
Okay, so
Nick. I just had a vision of like a skateboard saddle that's like on top of the crocodile.
how long does your spell last?
24 hours.
Okay, good to know. It would be at this point that darkness seems to be looming the air.
Looming, as in getting thicker?
Yeah, so like the sky is black.
Oh boy.
Like, it's nighttime.
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but I could probably use a rest.
Yes. Is
What
well,
the hell happened?
You wouldn't understand. It was a monk thing.
Oh, right. Um,
one of them religious trials, is it?
is the rock inert or is it still glowing?
Yeah. Is the rock still glowing?
The rock's no longer doesn't seem to have that energy anymore, but it's still there.
All right.
I would like to start casting Identify on this rock.
Go ahead.
While you have the ability to jump over these things, could you fetch some of the crocodiles? I need to feed big Lancelot here.
Lancelot? Okay.
It would also be at this point that the fog is drifting back in, so any checks or saves will be at disadvantage.
Zartlam's just kind of staring at Cavell like, what?
What do you mean, what?
He's just staring.
I give you puppy dog eyes. It's just like you.
But it's kawaii desu!
Don't look at me like that. It's making me hungry.
Oh. Well, Fizzle, are you good at making things that are like makeshift in nature really fast?
Really fast, I don't know. But if I have the materials, I can make a lot of things.
Well, there is a bunch of crocodile leather on the other side of this
I
thing.
would need to harvest that.
Yes, you would.
But it's gonna take me like 10 minutes to be done with this ritual spell first.
So Cavell, I'm proficient with calligraphy supplies. If you would like me to draw a painting of you on your new alligator friend.
That would be amazing.
Okay.
Zartlam will collect the alligators and drag them to the island just because he is trying to train up his strength. So this gives him an
And I'm going to start painting Sir Cavell on his alligator.
few 24 hours later.
Night riding a dinosaur with machine guns and whatnot.
Yep.
Just
yeah,
out
so
of
you fetch the crocodiles. Sweet.
Just out of curiosity, how much do those smaller crocodiles weigh?
Several
A
hundred
lot,
pounds.
yeah, a lot.
Probably not gonna be able to move them.
I have a strength of 20.
Still.
I mean, I probably
there's
couldn't leap. I probably
yeah.
couldn't leap over the lake with them, but
I
I could
could
probably
Look
drag
at
them
the
without too
math.
much
It's like 15
I would
times your strength.
I would say it would be like carrying like maybe two and a half of people. They're pure stock muscle and scales.
Yeah, it would be easier to take the goblin to the crocodiles.
Yep. Yep.
Like, I could probably drag them, but not much more than that.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, if you
It
want to
would
train
have-
for your brawling feat, it would probably fall under that category if you wanted to drag one along.
Definitely.
That's exactly what I was planning.
It would be nice if you can drag them away from the exploding mushrooms. Just saying.
So I would drag them around and use the semi-path to get them on the center island. And as he did, Zartlan would suggest, as long as that big one's not going to eat us in the middle of the night, this island should make a rather defensible place to set up camp.
Just considering there are no other bad critters in the waters around us, because I have not gone in there, to be honest, and I prefer not to.
Well, if we feed him some of the crocodile meat, I'm sure Lancelot would be very happy to not eat any of us during the night.
Possibly. Do I know cannibalism is a thing for crocodiles? Would he be willing to eat
Nature check.
other... Okay. Disadvantage?
Yep.
Okay. 1 second. $17.
Likelihood he's not gonna want to eat his own kin.
I'm gonna warn Cavell. Probably not gonna work considering they are possibly of the same brood.
Well,
Good,
shit.
Good, we can use them to restock our own supplies then.
Well, I don't know.
It's
And
over
I
after
would also
sleeping.
say I would like also point out with a 17,
Okay.
you'd probably work out that this larger crocodile is female.
Oh.
Ah!
Also, so
Who-
Cavell.
who's the bard? Roll to seduce.
Oh God!
The one currently riding her.
Oh God! Oh God! Jesus!
In
Okay,
answer to your question, Ronin, I will give it to you. You will need to,
Attune.
yeah, but
Well-
I will give it to you after the session's over.
No
At
worries.
the very least, we're taking a short rest.
I could do with a
It's
long
nighttime.
rest.
It's
Yeah, I
nighttime.
mean,
We
it's-
should
it's
just
Like I
long
said-
rest, get it daytime.
Yeah, like I said, at the very least. So, did I manage to finish my spellcasting ritual of the identified? Do I get anything
Of
out
the
of
stone? Yeah, it's a stone now.
that? Okay. Just wanted to make sure. I expected that much, but I wanted to make sure.
Yeah. Whatever magical essence was in this is now no longer part of it. But I mean,
Okay.
you kind of like manage to get like almost particles of the type of magic.
Well, I knew
but-
everything
but,
that was,
yeah,
to be honest, with
yeah.
an identify, but
No.
still.
You'd know that there was once magic, but it's no longer magical.
Okay. Well, this thing is no longer magical, just so you know. Whatever was used in whatever ritual our monk friend was having, it's done. So, do we have some time so I can attempt to harvest some croc leather?
We're setting up camp here, so however much
most
you don't want to
certainly.
sleep.
I'm just asking the DM how much
Yeah,
time we have
course.
before we go to bed.
Well,
Basically.
it's dark, so you guys can you'd have maybe an hour or two before you start to really feel, the effects of feeling tired and
Okay.
needing to
With the help,
needing to
And,
rest.
Can
the hell-
Zartlan assist him in order to harvest some of the crocodile meat as
Yeah,
rations?
sure. Yeah.
that was my question. Could I harvest at least part of one of the crocodiles while it's still fresh for meat and or hide, whatever I can
There's-
get?
There's 3 of them. I don't think we're gonna have to worry about competing
No, I just mean because I won't be able to do all of them in one night. I mean, seriously.
Yeah, the hide probably, but like you if you work together, it's like you take the hide, you take the meats. It seems like a good one.
Basically.
Okay.
So yeah,
What
I
should
will
I
go
roll?
ahead and
Like,
usually it's survival.
Yep. Disadvantage.
I'm
But
not
I am
very good at
assisting.
Wait,
Yep.
I will
Regular
try
roll.
to inspire you. Let's see.
For ingredients, would it be like nature? Because survival is shit for me.
No, survival.
No, it's
Because
survival.
you're trying to
Okay.
survive.
A disadvantage in here?
It would be a disadvantage, but if Zartlam's assisting, then it'd be a regular roll.
No. Would it be? Okay, 1 second. Let's see if I get anything. Probably not. Oh, damn, 19.
Yeah,
And the bard said he was assisting you, so that's an extra d6.
I'm gonna use that in that case.
Sorry,
Uh,
inspiring, not assisting.
Yeah, I know. And that's a 5, so 24.
Nice. So you managed to get a series of let's see.
I have a bag of holding, so weight is really not that big of a deal. It's pretty much empty right now.
You get 14 sets of crocodile teeth. So
Whoa.
you have 14 crocodile teeth. You have 5 pounds of meat, or assorted.
That is not much meat.
Yeah.
You probably find by the roll that a lot of the crocodile meat is really tough and not really suitable for human consumption, at least, or humanoid consumption. And let's see.
At least the leather could be good.
Yeah, you start off on one of the hides, and you as you start to cut through, you literally slip, and it literally just cuts like most of the decent hide that would be used on leather or scale armor or whatever the case may be. You managed to wreck that one, but the second one that's there has been pretty much destroyed from the onslaught of attacks, but you do manage to get one good full crocodile hide, in terms of like a good portion of its upper tail, its back, and to its neckline and belly.
Would be easier for like
So-
pounds of leather.
So I'm fine with you keeping the teeth and hide, and I keep the meat. Does that sound good to you?
Well, I can, like, the meat should be eaten as soon as possible. We can literally cook it right now. The rest I'll just hold on to, because otherwise it's gonna weigh us down. I can simply put it in my magical bag of holding.
Well, it's going to rot in the bag of holding anyway.
Not the meat. The meat will probably eat immediately.
You also managed to sop up and manage to capture one vial of crocodile blood.
Interesting. Do I have any inclination as what that ingredient could be used in?
There's a handful of things that could be used upon it.
I'll think about it at some point.
Well, that meat's barely enough food for 2 people.
You can make it into a soup.
Does anyone here have cooking tools?
Probably not, but we can find a
Yes.
pot.
But we could use a swamp water.
Gavel, we'll leave it up to you.
I'll help him out with any, like,
Do you have proficiency with the cooking kit?
no, but I am proficient in using herbs and natural ingredients.
I know it's cooking utensils, but I just couldn't think of the right word at the time.
Yeah. Uh,
Okay. So, anything else before you decide to rest?
We should probably pick watch.
yep. I can take the first watch if you want. Or we could divide in 2 groups of 2 as well. Would be safer that way.
We wouldn't get enough sleep if we did that.
Okay. Yeah, we don't do that.
I'll volunteer for last because that way I can get up early to get some work done on my.
Last or first?
Not to
I
mention
get
not to mention I have the worst perception, so if I do fail to notice something, everybody else will be well rested by that point.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true. I'll take first watch because then I don't have to shed my armor until.
I think
we're-
Fizzle just said he was taking first.
Damn it. All right, I'll take third. Third is
You find
horrible.
on second, Ronan?
You'll take second.
Okay.
All right, we got our order.
Okay. Okay, so first watch.
Desire.
Perception. Disadvantage.
16.
Oh, lost in that 20.
It's the third one, I think. Second or third one.
You do hear almost like a splash, like something a movement
shit!
in the water. So it sounded small, but it could be a fish, it could be a frog.
Can
Could
I
be-
find
could be
higher
anything.
ground?
The top of the stone?
Can I try climbing on top of it?
Yeah, you could try. Athletics. Sorry, acrobatics.
1 second. Acrobatics.
Disadvantage.
A
What is
quick
that?
question for you, DM, since it's still first watch.
Yep.
Since I have Heavy Armor Master, since I took the feat Heavy Armor Master, can I sleep in my armor now?
Yeah, I suppose so. Don't see why not.
Sweet. Then I will be doing that from now on,
Okay.
unless we're in a city or something.
Okay. You attempt to climb up, and the rock is still like mildewy, and you just slip.
I'm gonna keep my ears open.
Sure.
I don't know what it was.
The moments pass, and other than the small splash in the water, doesn't seem to be much else going on.
Also, one more question. How long would it take to make a potion of healing? Like a day or something?
One potion is 1 day.
Okay. Yeah, we continue forward.
Sure. So, second watch. Perception check disadvantage.
That's a 12.
Okay.
Disadvantage a
You
bit.
kind of get lost in staring at this new quarterstaff that you've managed to obtain.
It is beautiful.
And reflecting on the trial in order to get it, what that meant, and was there more to learn?
Always.
But nonetheless, your moments pass, your watch comes to an end.
I sort of look at the staff and just say, "I will do you proud, masters."
Okay,
But quietly, so no one hears.
sure. So,
Gotta sleep.
third watch.
All right.
Perception.
Do I get help from my crocodile companion?
It can make a slippery draw, for instance. I don't know.
No, unfortunately not.
It's
The crocodile, the monarch is currently snoring soundly and peacefully.
All right.
I did tell him it was female, by the way, because I forgot.
No,
Sure.
Lancelot, you can't just tell the gender of Lancelot.
No,
How
I
dare
told
you.
you. I told. So, yeah, you kind of look around and you can hear the snoring, and you kind of get lost in awe that this big, magnificent, strong beast is bowing to your whim, and you kind of think you almost feel sorry that you forced it to, and you're just like hopeful
Yeah, you
that
see
even
you see
after
like
your
the
spell ends.
memories. I think you see like memories of past animals that he has tried to tame, like used several months of his time, and it's just like this ability was used because his friends was in danger and he had to, and so he remembers all of these past animals that maybe tried to bite his hand off, and
Huh.
scrabbling in the dirt with this crocodile in the swampy waters, and it's just like you hear the song of "Stay by Me" in the background.
Okay. Yeah, so your moment passes
Yep.
and your watch comes to an end.
Noise.
Yeah. Okay. And I'll wake up Sartlan.
Sure.
Nudge, nudge.
So, Zartlam, perception disadvantage.
That's actually not bad for me.
Kind
Again.
of perch yourself on like one of the protruding rocks, and you kind of look out, and then you kind of like come to the conclusion that anyone that would even intend on causing any harm in this environment will come to a bloody end swiftly enough, so you see no point in actually watching out. You accept the challenge if there was to be one, and you just kind of zone out, lost in your own thoughts.
Thinking about getting that heavier armor repaired so they can get rid of this chainmail that currently has giant teeth holes.
But nonetheless, your watch comes to an end. You can see into the sky that dusk is now come to greet you all in the morning. Could you all do a Constitution saving throw regularly? And could you also do a history check for me, please?
Constitution saving throw at normal.
Yep. And your history at normal as well. The fog's kind of drifted out a little bit.
I've got an 8 Constitution, 6 History.
Okay.
17.
Okay.
23,
11 and 7.
2018.
I can't wait until level 6.
So both Zartlam and Ronin, from the thickness of the cloud, the mist that sweeps in and out of this environment, and the tightness of breathing through the night, you each have 1 point of exhaustion.
Ooh.
Oh shit. In the morning, you.
Oh well, in the fog we get disadvantage on checks anyway, so.
Oh, he's gonna hit.
So, the history checks.
So is there a way to mark that on my sheet?
I
Under
just
the
put it in the
settings,
bio, I would have, but I don't know. Is it
under the settings, in the third column, first box, bottom option, there's a show exhaustion
Hey.
that you can turn on. And once you set the level, it'll actually tell you what the current effects are.
Oh, perfect.
Cool.
Where?
The settings tab on your character sheet.
Ah, show
It's a
exhaustion.
little
Yeah,
gear.
I found it. Yeah, I saw it.
Okay. Those your history checks. So, Fizzle,
Mm-hmm.
Something about this monk. You. It's almost familiar to you. You can't quite pin it on, but you remember fighting alongside a monk back in the day of sorts, but you can't quite picture his name in your mind.
Mm.
So Cavell,
Yeah.
Fizzle, the goblin, seems a bit too friendly in your stead. He, you once knew someone about his height, but due to like being your identities being withheld, you never got to see that person's face. But strangely, the sizing, you almost have an image, a pre-image of this individual and Fizzle, and they almost kind of they line up.
Huh. That's odd. Are you a goblin once?
Does he say that?
Yep.
I throw a potion of fire in a random direction, yelling, "Where?"
No, I mean, I knew one once.
Excuse me?
There's no goblin here.
I
except-
throw a potion in a random direction that explodes in some corner.
Oh, I'm sorry. I knew someone about your height. A little
Oh.
person.
Well, okay, it's probably some halfling, for instance.
Probably, yeah. There's
There's
not a lot of um, green people your height that are friendly.
green. What are you talking about?
Have you seen the coloration of Lancelot lately? It's like when the light turns the right way, it's magnificent.
Well, he's a crocodile of sorts. I fail to understand what does that have to do with me being short.
Um,
I try to make fun of me or something. I don't get it. What did I do to you?
huh. That's not how I imagined this conversation to go. I'm very sorry.
Oh, that's fine. I guess you didn't mean no offense, and neither did I.
Well, I thank you for venturing into this forest with us. I find your dedication to helping the group and the Legion to be almost as comparable to my own.
Comparable to what now? I couldn't hear the last word.
Comparable to his own.
Ah, I see. Well, thank you. It's not really a big deal. I'm just trying to help while searching for a few clues about my past. You see, I don't remember much. A few decades ago, I just started doing stuff. I've always known how to do my, and I gesture to my potions and alchemical components, but I don't know where I come from, to be honest. Hence, I give my name out to whoever we meet. Perhaps someone has heard of me. Everyone's taking notes.
Oh no, I was just making some flavor
Okay.
to explain what I was doing since I rolled so terribly.
I could still help you out, or at least with the minor details. Not really a smith, but very good at detail work.
Well, until I get access to a proper forge, there's not a lot I can do with.
True enough.
Okay, so morning rides. What would you like to do? This seems to be like a pathway through this swamp, or you can go back from where you came. It's really up to you. The
Well, I
pathway
mean,
is
it's a
really
swamp, and
present.
Lancelot is a swamp creature. We shall go through the swamp.
Well, attempt to at least. Are there any, before we go, is there anything else left we can try to harvest from the crocs?
I mean, most of what you found
Okay.
to be useful,
It's already
you
harvested.
already
That's all I
obtained.
wanted to
Yeah,
know. Yep.
with the roll that you did, you got what you could from it.
Yep.
Are we able to
I
harvest the
think
mushrooms?
You can most certainly try.
I would advise against that earlier,
I
or
mean, if you're
rather
careful enough, there's no reason why not.
last night, one of the crocodiles did bump into them and they exploded. So they are way more dangerous than I originally expected. Someone may lose a finger or two trying to get them.
Yeah, but if we could throw them at people,
so you're saying our options are to trek through a swamp filled with exploding mushrooms that not all of us have a proper mount for, or go back and and see what the other paths are like now that we actually completed what we came down this.
Question connected to this: do the mushroom patch continues past this swamp, this particular part
And
of the
you
swamp?
could see there's like the other end of the swamp. It kind of goes back into that horrible muddy sludge again. And you can see with what you can through the mist that kind of quite far up the way, it does seem to be a bit more dry, and the actual pathway does elevate ever slightly.
I would say these mushrooms are just native to this part. It, they wouldn't be that common anywhere further ahead. We should be safe enough is where we are, considering where we are.
So be it. I suppose there's nothing more compelling down the other paths as far as we could tell.
True enough.
Yeah, I don't see any problems. We have a crocodile companion. We have Lancelot. Lancelot can guide us through the swamp.
Probably lived most of its life here, so it hasn't really left its area particularly, is my guess.
Hey DM,
Hello.
are there enough little pockets of land through the swamp that I could get through without having to trudge through the water if I expended my daily use of the?
No, not really. It's pretty thick. Other than the opposite side, where you can see like the pathway leads again and become like progressively becomes drier. Other than that,
Oh well,
this whole sort of environment is quite sludgy or swamp like.
had to check.
In that case, shall we proceed?
Yep.
We ate the food, right? The 5 pounds of meat.
Yeah. Cavell said he had the cooking utensil.
Yeah, just checking so I can mark that down.
Yep.
Is-
We had alligator stew last night. I assume it's alligators, not crocodiles, since it's a swamp.
Possibly.
Yeah, it's possible.
Or something similar.
Though I think the D&D 5th edition doesn't have alligator; it just has crocodile.
Yeah, crocodile and giant crocodile.
What are these alligators you speak of?
Okay, let me just make sure I'm not getting rid of anything I shouldn't be. I'm trying to tidy up a little bit so I know what we're doing. Okay. I think that's that. Okay, so what do you decide to do?
We push onward.
Okay. So as you go through the swamp end out to the other side where the pathway begins once again, about an hour or so passes and it becomes dry.
Oh, much better.
Who's leading the way?
Probably not me.
I will, on top of my great crocodile friend Lancelot.
I was gonna say probably the one that can move the fastest through the swamp.
Okay.
That'd be me.
As
Well, if we assume difficult terrain that the crocodile can overcome.
yeah,
I'm mobile, so difficult terrain isn't.
Here's the thing: you have to let me keep up, so it doesn't really matter how fast you are.
When you get on the crocodile,
Is it gonna let me?
No, the crocodile is not going to let you.
Exactly.
So yeah, as you go through, this large form now on dry land stomping, kind of occasionally looks back at you all, the rest of the group, and then looks beyond you back to where the swamp is and kind of goes, and then kind of carries on. But he's definitely like a very loud animal in this environment now. I need the rest of you behind the crocodile to do a perception check, please.
Interesting.
Sweet. Can I do perception?
Well, you're on the crocodile, so
Yep.
It's specifically something we do.
Yeah.
Modified 1.
Perception. Do we have still disadvantage?
Yeah.
That is a 13.
Okay. So where's my? How much did I do it for? It's there. No, it's not there. It's that one. 2D.
This no one got a natural one.
Yeah.
No, I have a -1, so mine was
Like
a
I said,
modified 1.
no one got a natural one at least.
So, out of the tree line, a large stag just jumps out, lands on the ground, looks at Zartlam, kicks to the side, kicking Zartlam into the chest, and then darts back into the woods and disappears into the fog. You take 9 points of bludgeoning damage from its hooves.
Is it considered magical?
No.
Then it's only 6 for me.
Okay.
Hey, this thing came out of nowhere. I wasn't gonna rule it out.
No, of course. It makes sense. What the balls? Was that running away from something?
It's running away from something?
Well, was it? Where did it come from?
I don't know.
Did it like immediately disappear from?
Yeah, he kind of no, it didn't like vanish in thin air, but it vanished into the mists of the rest of this forest. But it kind of come out of the tree line to like the side of you from the right, jumped onto the road, looked in panic, and then just kicked you, and then just darted back out in almost like a protection. It's almost like you startled it or something startled it, and it just as instinct, it ran out, thought you might attack, so defended itself and then ran away again.
Could it be that this crocodile like startled that creature? I don't know.
I don't know either.
Well, you're its handler. Shouldn't you know these things?
But look, if you have a big animal, the smaller ones run away. That's what they do.
True enough, I guess. We should probably be mindful in the future. This may bite us in the backside.
Yep. Let's continue on. Should be fine.
Okay.
Skeptically, we continue.
Zarlem doesn't say anything out loud from that happening, but he's very clearly in a bad mood afterward.
Yeah, I would imagine. Okay, so as you progress, you once again come to a break in the road.
Oh. It's like, let me zoom out. Oh shit! Good shit! Oh no! Oh, the magical forest.
Is this the same one or a new 3 past the
Well,
2?
there is one way we can check.
There's one way to find out.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a look to see if that symbol's still there.
Go
With the
ahead.
paint.
Unless someone
disadvantage.
stops him, Zarlem's just
Well, actually,
continuing to
I'd
walk
do
straight.
it as a perception regular roll because you're looking for the exact same tree.
Also, unless someone stops him, Zartlem is just continuing to walk straight forward down the middle path.
Yeah, I'll help Ronan with perception so he gets
Yeah.
advantage.
Well, it'd just
Zatlan
be
might wanna
flat.
wait
It'd just
for
be
a
flat because he's got
second.
disadvantage anyway. So it's
Yeah.
fine. 17, yeah, you find that exact same tree with that fuchsia pink paint.
It's the same fork, guys.
Looks like we went around. Ah, well.
Then we take a different route, and Zartlem will keep going.
Okay.
Then, shall we vote on it again? I'd say the most right one. For the sake of...
Also, I don't see my token on the map right now.
It's... Wait, what? Oh yeah, I don't see it either.
Well, let's head through the middle.
Oh,
then.
for some reason it was under the 3.
Ha!
I just kind of dragged and selected.
Oh, someone disappeared.
No, that's all right.
Oh no.
So,
Um,
yeah. Mhm.
I'd vote this one, but again, I am not terribly like opposed
No one seems to
going
be
the other way.
stopping Zartlam, so I think he's going that way. You can all
I
go
did
in
call
different
it-
directions if you really want.
I did call out to him for wait for a second so we can talk for like 2 sentences.
No worries.
I'm gonna put my hand on Zartlem's shoulder.
Oh no! Let's not get grabbing now, shall we?
Well, it's a gentle one, just to stop him moving forward.
He'll stop, but he won't turn around.
So, like I was saying, quick vote. Do we want to head down or take the other path?
Well, we're kind of already walking down this path, so we just carry on.
Yeah, I say we just carry on. Sartlem, good initiative.
Guess we're going with the random throwing of the sword in the end, aren't we, Monk?
Look,
Who's this Mark you speak of?
Monk.
Oh, Monk. Okay, sorry.
We tried picking a path by looking for clues and finding which one was different. Look where that got us.
Wait, we got a
Our friend,
new companion.
Our friend got a new weapon, but aside from that, we've just wasted a day.
Also got a
So
new
just push
companion.
forward.
We got an alligator as well.
And also some skins.
An alligator. Am I saying that right?
Also, we had a decent, nice rest and
All right, let me
tasty
rephrase
food.
that. Let me rephrase that. Ronan got a new weapon, and we have a future meal. Now let's push.
And let me rephrase that. Are you feeling jealous? I nudge him a bit. I'll take your silence as a sign of jealousy. Let's move on then. I don't.
Okay.
There's
So-
only one weapon I wish to wield, and then Zartlan will just keep walking forward.
Slowly behind you, the other two drag their heels. Even after a rest and this environment, something about the Bernier Ale has not agreed with them. But nonetheless, you proceed. After a few hours, the road begins to ascend. And before you know it, the road is above the tree line. And you can see vast open forest with the smoke line just below. And you find yourself at the top of this climb in the middle of this forest at a mouth of a cave.
Oh boy. Is anyone good at looking for tracks? Oh damn. I think I'm zoomed in. Yeah. Is anyone good at looking for tracks?
Oh, also as a note, DM, as we walked, I would have healed the damage I took with lay on hands.
Sure, no worries.
Yeah, there is a guy who's very good at track. He's asleep because he's drugged up. Something
Ah.
in the ale, maybe.
I think you might have lost them somewhere along the road. Hope they find it.
They just kind of slump themselves on the outside of this cave.
I guess they don't like croc meat.
Listen, we should probably explore this cave. We've been walking for a while, and if there's nothing inside to worry about, then this will make a good place to set up.
Well, I'm still a bit worried, so I will attempt to look for tracks.
Yeah, that's all he's saying. It's like we should investigate the cave, not just we should set up camp here.
Okay. So this cave mouth opens up to a very narrow pathway. Within, it's dark, it's dreary. You can hear the dripping of puddles or water source nearby. You see lactites and stalactites from ceiling to floor.
Okay. Could I try and see if there are any tracks around of any beasts or something?
Survival?
Do I get disadvantage still?
No normal roll currently.
Hey, we're in a cave. That's like partially better.
Except for those of us who are exhausted.
Of course.
15.
Yeah, I mean, there's a handful of like creature tracks.
Yep, definitely.
Not very big. Some look like maybe small hounds, rabbits, or maybe badgers, or nothing too sinister. Nothing big has seemed to have come through here. As you look around, you can see there is a lot of guano on the floor, so bats drop-ins and certain things.
Well, then I relay most of this information to the team. Well, probably nothing really sinister in this cave, probably, but no. Still, we should obviously keep watch. Shall we investigate further?
Yes. And
we-
someone's gonna glance at the floor and say, "You know, I've heard that mages use this stuff. Glad I'm not one."
The bad guano?
Yes.
True in some spells.
Glad I don't have to deal with that.
Well, but there are powerful spells. Can burn your enemies to death. I myself don't know them. Some people.
A sword works just as well. At least if you know how to use it, right?
True enough, I suppose. I make
then
way
yes.
for someone to go further ahead.
I don't know. Do I still have Lancelot? There's no crocodile token here.
Sorry, my bad. Hold on.
How do you?
Can he fit
Yeah.
in the cave?
That's
I
the
mean,
question.
it's a big cave. He would have to squeeze through the.
Let
the
Lancelot
gap.
go through first. Me and Lancelot, we shall take the front and tackle the opposition.
Kind of gets to like the mouth and then goes.
Stuck.
No.
Probably won't be able to fit. He should wait here.
Can wait
By the
outside
way-
and eat Roland and Orion.
Just saying that
Well,
your 24 hours are about to expire. You probably would know that.
Well,
Yeah,
I'll
it's not
see
gonna be long.
Lancelot later. I'll make a mark on the map. I will come back later. See you,
Sure.
Lancelot. Good boy.
It kind of
And
looks at you in confusion, and is like realization of, oh shit, I can go home.
Yeah, pretty much. She's gonna be gone.
and then just he just starts returning back from whence he came.
Yeah. Once she came.
Yeah, true enough.
She came.
Uh,
So
oh well.
It would be so cool though.
You just see like the dream Sir Corel has in his head.
Shattered
Like
yet again.
the Incredible Hulk music starts to play as he walks down the road. So
Should I try to look for traps? I mean, it's not like we expected to be anything here, as in man-made.
you can't see anything man-made.
No, I was talking to the, the party.
Creatures have definitely been through here. I mean, you can see that there's like tracks of people that have passed through here many years ago, or so on.
Well, let's just. Oh my God, you just went all the way over there.
Oh, I wasn't looking.
I don't have lights.
What happened? I was looking away for a second, and something went dark.
You're a goblin. You have dark vision. Sarklam, you have dark vision.
Actually, I don't.
Oh shit.
Oh shit.
Do I have to light a torch, DM?
I mean, it's getting darker the more you're entering this cave line.
Anybody got the light cantrip?
I will light a torch, and then it will.
I will mage hand up a torch.
Cool.
Yeah, but my mage hand's
seconds.
invisible, so it's cooler.
And 6 seconds later, plop.
Well, that's
60 seconds.
That's 60 seconds later.
Okay.
It's a minute, not a round.
My mistake, sorry.
So, yeah, I mage hand up a torch and I send it into the. I light it and I send it into the cave.
Yeah, no worries.
And I have done so as well.
You see, it kind of the cave begins to open up the more you get around the corner into like this room. There is stalactites and such sort of protruding. You see a circular rock formation with what appears to be a very dusty old wooden chest in the middle.
Very interesting.
And as you creep around the corner, there also seems to be a pool of very clean, crystal clear water. You can see if you can roll a perception check for me.
Everyone?
Whoever is wishing to look
I just
around.
wanted to ask something. Is this catching my attention in any way, or is this just for
Seems to be a form of rock formation of sorts at this point.
I was just asking if it's like a crystal or something that I need
No, it's just like limestone build-up.
Okay.
So he said.
Yeah.
Well,
Zartlam, you can see within this crystal clear pool there seems to be like an element of like a flicker of like light, almost like there's a way through. But this whole room is open up and you see this circular rock formation with this dusty wooden chest. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is where we'll end the session.
Why did everybody roll?